Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Hello? Hello, can you all hear me? Hello? Please, I need some responses. If you can hear me, you can just say yes on the chat. But can you hear me?
Yes.
So I need to know. Okay, I need response, please. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. Please, can you also can you see my screen?
Yes.
Good afternoon once again.
Good afternoon.
So you're welcome to this class. The class is tagged Demystifying AI through NI. AI simply means artificial intelligence. NI means natural intelligence. The word natural intelligence is what I coined by myself. So I coined it myself to fit into this purpose. So the idea behind the whole thing is that we want to learn artificial intelligence. But for you to learn artificial intelligence, you need human being to start with. Even if you're going to use some developed algorithm, you're going to use some developed methods, it is still human being that is behind it. So in this regard, I want to be that natural intelligence behind these presentations. And today is the first class. Actually, this is an institution actually. We call the institute Dahini Institute. We already have some initiatives already. Then we have some registration procedure that we have initiated. So it's an institution and it's also an international institution. So we have people that will be connecting from all over the world. So it's not an institution that is limited to an area. It's an international institution. The aim of this institution is to raise in the next 10 years 1,000 artificial intelligence experts. So that is the vision of this institute. And this is in line with SDG. SDG simply means Sustainable Development Goals. So this aim or this vision of raising 1,000 artificial intelligence experts is actually in synchronization. Synchronization is in line with SDG 4, 8, and 9. We're trusting God that by 10 years' time, that is when we are looking at in 2034, this institute would have raised minimum of 1,000 artificial intelligence experts. And I'm glad that you are part of that journey today. So now I can promise you that this journey you are starting will be rewarding. You will see it is a practical thing and is a real thing. So it's going to be a rewarding venture. It's a venture that you will not regret. And I believe it's going to open you up a lot of opportunities. So today basically is going to be for introduction. We're not really going to do much work today in the sense of deeper training. But the main goal for today is just to let everyone know why we are here, what we are in for, that to gain as we embark on this journey. Okay. I also need to let us know that for this journey to be a rewarding one as we want it to be, we all need to unite. We all need to work together. All hands must be on deck, in the sense that whatever we learn in the class, there is need for us to go back and check on them, do personal reading, and deeper explorations. It is through this way we will do more and we'll be able to get more through the session. So it should be a mutual stuff. It should be a kind of working together. So as we go through the class, we get in back and we do some work on our own. And I also want to let us know that the audience, the targeted audience for this class are actually people with little or no experience at all for now. So as we advance, I think we can open room for more people. But the main objective now is people with virtually no or little experience in artificial intelligence. So that means we are looking at people that are just interested, but they have not known anything yet. Then, because of some of the concepts that are in artificial intelligence, it also demands that we need to have some background in mathematics, although if that is not now, we can work on that one and perfect everything, because it's going to be a great deal of work. So we need to show that desire to learn, even when we don't know something, that we enhance our knowledgeability on this platform. We need to be able to have that personal drive to learn some concepts that will help us do excellently well. So I don't want us to be scared of anything. I don't want us to fear anything. It's going to be a thriving journey. For now, I want to ask just some questions. Let me get to know Mr. Samuel. Please, I just want to know your background, so I should know how to tailor the presentations. So just tell us, I don't need more from you. I just want to know your background, like how much of artificial intelligence do you know, and what are your expectations from this class? So let me start with Mr. Samuel. Oh, can you just unmute the mic and speak, sir?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. Yes.
I'm Samuel, the auditor by name.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And background per se.
Okay.
And I did a lot of work which involve mechanical as well, but it requires to add more additional experience.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Okay, thank you. So you're welcome on board. So I didn't know that's you. Well, you're welcome, sir. Thank you for joining us. Then Mr. Toyin, can you hear me? So
Hello, good afternoon, everybody.
good afternoon.
My name is Tony Ogunji. The only knowledge I have about IT is the preliminary background, the foundation, and also I have a little knowledge, introductory knowledge about cyber security as well. And I wanted to further more on IT, especially AI and cybersecurity. That's why I'm here. I know nothing about AI for now.
Okay, that's the good thing. I trust that as you are persistent and consistent on the platform, you get to know a lot. So in a matter of months, there'll be transformation. Okay, so let's just get into the work for today. Don't be I don't want us to be discouraged. Because we're just starting today. So in the course of these presentations, we are still going to have more people joining. But because we are starting today, that's why we are starting on this note. So it is as I said, it's an international institution. So we expect more participations as the journey continues. Then we expect more speakers from international level also to work on this platform to give some presentations and some lectures. So I would just encourage us that if we have anybody that we know this could be beneficial to, we could also let them come along. Okay, let's just start straight away for today's work. Okay, I've never said my name. I am Engineer Ogunjishe. I am a researcher. I am a researcher in artificial intelligence and cyber security. So, and I'm actually working on how to combine artificial intelligence with cybersecurity. So this is my background. Let me just give you, I have a background in electrical electronics engineering. At bachelor's level, I have a very great academic performances. So I finished my bachelor's with a distinction. So I had a 3.76 on the scale of 4.0. And then I won some awards actually, and I also happen to be the best graduating student in the department in the School of Engineering. And this opportunity has helped me to have some other exposure to some other learnings. So at present, I am on a researching work on how to implement some architecture that we leverage on the power of artificial intelligence to have a secure world. In the world we have today, because of the advancement in technology and because of what we call, there's something called big data. So big data is just the fact that relates with the explosion in information. Today we have trillions and trillions and trillions of data that are being transmitted on a daily basis. I have social media that have a lot of data that are being spewed out every second. WhatsApp, Facebook, Twitter now X, and some other platform like that. In fact, what we are doing now is part of data explosion generation. So we are generating data as we connect from different places. We are using data, we are generating data, and this is actually part of the global data generation that we're talking about. And there are many things we do online now. You remember in some years back, before we do banking transaction, we need to go to a bank to queue for hours. In fact, sometimes we just come back disappointed, not having done what we are actually supposed to. So we waste time in the bank. But today now, I doubt if in the recent time any one of us has gone to the bank for some basic transactions in the last 1 year or thereabouts. And this is because of the advent of technology advancement. So with our phones today, with a mobile phone, things that will go to spend days and hours to do at the bank in those days, we don't need to do those things again. So we can just do any transaction, any moment of time, any hour, any seconds. We're not limited by space. We're not limited by resources. We're not limited by anything. As long as you have a working mobile phone, you could do anything. Now, there are some people that are taking advantage of this. We call them the hackers, the intruders, the adversaries, and the likes. They are taking advantage of this explosion to also perpetrate some evils. So they steal people's data. So the place where I come in as a researcher is how we could have much more secured digital space. So that's my field, cybersecurity. Then because of the power and the possibilities, the capabilities that are inherent in artificial intelligence as well. So I'm also working on how I can leverage these possibilities in artificial intelligence. In artificial intelligence specifically, I'm working on what we call the convolutional neural network. So when we get there, these are the things we're going to explore. So I'm looking at how I could add the power of convolutional neural network in artificial intelligence, or in machine learning, we call it machine learning, and add it up to what we're already doing in the cybersecurity. So the aspect I'm working on in the cybersecurity is the cryptographic protocol. We call it elliptic curve cryptography. So these are the terms and jargons we use in the field. So don't bother yourself with those things now. But just know that I work as a researcher in the artificial intelligence and cybersecurity. So I'm combining the power of artificial intelligence with cybersecurity. So that's just a little about me for now. You can now see that the person or the medium through which we are receiving this is a trusted medium. So I know about it. I have experience. So, and therefore, I trust I could share some insights. We're starting today with what I call Introduction to Artificial Intelligence. Artificial intelligence, what does it mean? When you say something is intelligent, so you are looking at something that has power to reason. That's actually the main power behind intelligence. Something that has power to reason, is able to think, is able to make informed decisions based on the analysis of reasoning. For instance, if you want to move from your current location where you are now, you want to go to the grocery, or you want to go to the market, or you want to go to school, or you want to go to a place of work, there are a lot of decisions that are involved in that movement or in that transitions. So your brain does the work through what we call the neurons. In your brains, we have some components in the brain that are called neurons. These neurons are interconnected with one another. We have billions of them. They are interconnected. And for every decision you make use of many of these neurons in interconnectivity to be able to move, to be able to go, to be able to do whatever you do. So when you hear neuron, just talk about brain, the study of brain, neurology. So neurons are those things that make brain workable and very powerful. So we call this kind of decision, we call them natural intelligence. So that means the ability to use human brain to do some task, to perform some functions. So we call this natural intelligence. Natural in the sense that it comes from human being. Human being, natural being. But as we advance in the world, we realize that for us to actually do more, our brain power alone cannot help us. We need to do something else to be able to support ourselves. So we need a mechanism that will help us in advancing in what we do. For instance, we need an aided mechanism that will give us more leverage in what we do. And that is where the studies about artificial intelligence comes in. Actually, artificial intelligence has been on research work from as early as the 19th century. So there are some scientists that have done a great work in the field of artificial intelligence, but the work became much more pronounced around 1945, when we have some researchers from some universities discovering some work and carrying out some activities. So we have people working on brain, the way brain works, the way brain operates. They're studying them. They develop some what we call it algorithm. So they came up with some algorithm that are being used to support human being. We have a man called Withdraw, and we have a man called Off. These people, they develop something, they call it adaptive filter. So they use a neuron, the way brain works. They invented some, let me just say, some tools because of their knowledge about the working of the brains. Scientists have been working after that, doing the other researches to make sure that we are really able to use the power of computer, help ourselves in the things we do. So I'm trying to explain what artificial intelligence comes in now. Artificial intelligence now is that ability we give to machines, in most cases computer, the ability we give to them such that they are able to also reason, they are able to think, they are able to make decisions as if they were human beings. So that's the essence of this class, and that's what one of the things we're able to do at the end of the day, that we'll be able to create things that we're able to reason like human being, think like human being, make decisions like human being. So we are transferring our intelligence, human intelligence, the natural intelligence. We are transferring it from humans to machines. So whenever I say machine simply means computer. Your phone is also a machine, computer. The laptops, basically, our computers are accessories. Some other things we use in places, it's not only when you go to supermarket, the sliding doors that open for you, it's using some machines, it's using a computer. So when you use a sliding door that when it sees you, it opens through sensor, that is a machine as well. So we could also call that one a machine. When you want to get to your house and you press a bell, press an alarm, and some things happen. Maybe in your house, maybe as you press the bell, some lights come up, or as you press the bell, something, the heater in your house is put on, and the eating process is starting. So whatever things that happen in between when some decisions are taken machine-wise. So we call that the artificial intelligence part of the point we're looking at. So when we transfer the reasoning power of humans, we transfer them to machine, computer in this case, then we have what we call artificial intelligence. Now, the word artificial, that means it's not real. It's not human. It's not natural. It is artificial. Like they say, why are you eating artificial food? Or they will say, why are you putting on artificial air? That means things that are not made naturally. So things that are synthesized. So things that are formed. Not by nature, but they are created by humans. And they are able to do what humans can do. In fact, more than what humans can do. So that's a power that is inherent in artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is able to do much more than what human beings can do. That's why we have a lot of advancements today. Some of us might have heard about ChatGPT. ChatGPT can answer virtually any question, even though they are still working on the algorithm and they are still going through some state training processes. So we have ChatGPT 4 version now. That one can do many things, can write code for you. It can just do just mind-boggling, mind-blowing stuff for us. And not only ChatGPT, we have what we call the Genie. We have some other applications that are so powerful. We have the Transformer and many other powerful algorithms that are out there to help human beings, to the point that the powerful countries and powerful governments in the world, they are even afraid, they are scared of what artificial intelligence can do. So we're going to get to that one where we talk about the ethics in artificial intelligence. Okay. So that's a basic introduction to what we know as artificial intelligence, when machine is able to do humans can do, the reasoning of humans, the thinking of humans, the analysis of humans, then the decision making that humans, when we transfer them to machine to do for us, then that machine that does that thing for us is the artificial intelligence machine. I will say we have a artificial intelligence. Now, when you talk about artificial intelligence, there's something you also need to know. We call it machine learning. Machine learning is just a subset of artificial intelligence, just like we have fathers. We have fathers that brought us into this world. So our father is like the artificial intelligence, while we ourselves, we are the machine learning. So we are inside of artificial. So artificial intelligence is a broad scope. But when you call out machine learning is a part of intelligence. So most times you hear AI, ML. ML means machine learning. You hear AI, ML, AI. They are just, sometimes they use them interchangeably, but they're actually different. AI is a big umbrella that comprises what machines do as if they were humans. The machine learning is part of the concepts that are used to achieve this purpose. So it's just part of it. It's not the entire artificial intelligence. But artificial intelligence is made possible through machine learning algorithms. So when I say algorithms, don't see it as a big word. It just means computer instructions. So when I say an algorithm just means the instructions we give to computer to perform some actions. Because I'll be using it a lot in this class, and I want us to get used to it. Algorithm. Maybe that's one of the things you can take away from the class today. Algorithm. That means the set of instructions that are given to computer, set of step-by-step instructions that are given to computer to carry out some activities, to perform some functions. Okay. So we'll be looking at definition of machine learning. We'll be looking at applications of machine learning, then types of machine learning. So in intelligence, there is what we call the supervised learning. I will explain it in a bit. The unsupervised learning and reinforcement learning. If you remember, I told us that in artificial intelligence, what we'll do is that we teach computers or we teach machines how they reason, how they think, how they make decisions. In fact, as I said before, the building block, the fundamental understanding behind artificial intelligence was when some scientists studied about how the brain works. So when they knew how the brain works, they were able to adapt the things they learned about human brain to machines, to build machines that will be able to reason like human being. So there's one thing very, very important. There's a concept very, very important in the world of artificial intelligence, in the world of machine learning in the regard I'm talking about now. And that is what we call learning. Because it's a machine, it cannot do anything by itself on its own. It has to learn, just like us. Before we decide that I need to go out with an umbrella, it's because we have learned that we are in the rainy season. And how do we know we're in the rainy season? We have learned over time that weather condition is like this when it is April, when it is May, when it is June. So we have learned over the years that rain falls at what we call the rainy season. So now my ability to go out with an umbrella when I'm going out, when is that period of time, is because I've learned from the past that these are the things that happen. So I make my decision. If you're the type that drives, you have noticed that at a particular time, maybe let's say from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m., there is usually a whole lot of traffic jam in a particular place that leads to your house. And this is the time you close from work. So you have learned not to take that route anytime you are going home at that point in time. So you have learned from what we call experience. So because of what you have seen, what you have felt over the years or over time, you have been able to build what we call repertoire of knowledge to know that when it is this time, I should not pass it. If there was a day you passed through that place and you were locked up in traffic jam that lasted for hours, people will ask you, the question that we usually ask is that, don't you know? Don't you know? Have we heard anything like that before? Maybe we did something, and after we did it, somebody told us, why did you do that? Didn't you know? And anyone, I just need an answer. I want to be sure that people are following me. Have we experienced such before?
Yes.
We experienced such before?
Yes.
Okay. So anytime you hear, don't you know, people expected that you should have learnt from experience. That's the way we build intelligence into computer as well. We want to build to computer, and one thing about computer is that computer, they are better at memory recollection than human being, if I could say. When you train them on one thing and you ask them tomorrow and everything is fulfilled, all the conditions are fulfilled, they will not forget. But human beings, I don't know what we do with ourselves. We forget things, and we face the consequences many times. And that's why the algorithms in artificial intelligence are very powerful, because they can do it over and over and over and over once they are properly trained. So, but what I'm trying to bring out here is the concept behind experience and the concept behind learning. So we learn through experience, even though in the human parlance we are told that experience is the best teacher, but we are also told that you should not use your own experience to learn something that is very costly. So you need to learn from people's experience. But regardless, either you are learning from your own experience or you are learning from someone's experience. The point is that you need somebody, you need an experience for you to know something is wrong. You need somebody who have passed through it before, so that you can now learn either from your personal experience or from someone else's experience. So also computer, that's why in the parlance of computing, you hear something called garbage in, garbage out, meaning that it is what you put in that you will take out. So there is nothing like a supercomputer. There is nothing like a powerful computer. No, a computer is as powerful as what you trained it on. And that's why human being is still important in the whole thing. So there is a kind of concern in the world today. Will the computer take over all the jobs in the world? Whereas computer will make our world much more productive and effective. But the part of human being, we cannot take it away, because the algorithms we are using, the designing and the generations we are making is still going to come from a human being. But what we need to do as a humans is that as these things are evolving and they are developing, which we need to develop with them, so that when the time comes, when they are replacing job, we will not be replaced. In fact, we'll be creating job. I don't want us to be job seeker at the end of the day. I want us to learn things that will make us to create jobs and to also add value to these advancements that are taking place. Many of the people doing exploits in the field of artificial intelligence today talk about Sam Altman. Sam Altman is the brain behind the Chat GPT. They talk about Elon Musk. These people, they are human beings like us. In fact, Elon Musk was an African. Elon Musk came from South Africa to America. The man is doing great things. So we should think that way, that what can I do to contribute to the world? Not that I'm learning this thing so I could look for a job. No. I'm learning this so I could become an expert and create my own algorithm that will solve humans' problems. So that is what I want to have as we progress in this. So I have been able to talk about learning. Learning is just simply you are training your computer to do certain things so that on their own they could make decisions. So in types of learning, we have 3 types of learning. So we have what we call supervised learning. Now, when you say supervised learning, it's like your kid at home. You told your kid, wash these dishes for me. And as you told your kid, you stayed with the child. And you are telling the child, okay, use this now, add this one now. So you are supervising that kid. That is a type of the type of learning, and we call it supervised learning. And this is very common in many of the architecture and the protocols we have today in the artificial intelligence. Very, very common. So it involves training a model on labeled data. What do we mean by labeled data? It simply means I will tell the computer through some programming, and Python is in use in this. So I will tell the computer through some programming that, computer, anytime you see something that has 2 heads has one eye, has two legs. That is a human being. And I will give the computer many, many examples of different type of human being. So after I've trained the computer with this data sets, we call them data sets. We call it labeled data. We label it. Label means you put a tag on it. You give meaning. It's okay. Say this is how human being looks. This is how a dog looks. This is how a cat looks. So that's what we call the labeled data. So after you have now trained the computer over time with this kind of data, you could go and sleep and tell that computer, okay, based on what I've trained you, you do this. And the computer will make perfect predictions. So there are some words you need to take note of: label data, predictions, or decisions. So based on what you have taught that particular computer, that particular machine, the algorithm you have trained it on from that label data, on its own, it could now make predictions. It could make decisions. So we're still going to get deeper into this and look at some examples. That's one type of learning, supervised learning. There is another type of learning. In this learning, it's unsupervised, and you know what that means now. You tell your kid, go and watch the plate. Or you tell the kid, go and do a particular task. And you didn't give the kid any form of instruction, any kind of direction. You are not staying with the kid and on our own or on his own. This kid is able to learn, is able to infer, is able to make draw insights or make predictions and decisions based on some other factors that are not involving learning. So in this way, we will call something pattern. So what the kid will do, and there are some kids that are very good at that, you just give them some pattern. Let's use an example of what we call the aptitude learning. So you draw some shapes and you just give it to the kid and you say, okay, if this shape is, you have this, you have this. You just ask the kid, now this is the first shape, this is the second shape. What will the third shape be? And you told that kid nothing. But some brilliant kid or some reasoning kid will just look at the pattern. They say, okay, this one looks like this one looks like this one, okay, then it must be like this. It is this learning that YouTube uses. You know, sometimes when you have watched some video over time, you just wake up one day and you see that a video has been recommended for you based on your pattern. So the algorithm has been able to learn your pattern, and without being supervised, is able to categorize you. So, oh, this person loves watching Yoruba movie. He loves watching American movie. He loves watching this. He loves watching this based on some pattern they have seen, and they will not make prediction. Now, if you buy things online, if you use some online platform like Konga to buy stuff, or you use Jumia, you use Alibaba, or you use the popular one, the Amazon, to buy stuff, you just wake up one day and you get some emails or you get some pop-up telling you that you can buy this thing, you can buy this thing. Or sometimes when you watch a particular video on the internet, they will suggest to you that the people who watch this kind of video, they also watch this. So in that learning, that's called unsupervised learning. So the computer is able to make some inferences based on some pattern it has uncovered. Sometimes when you're on Google and you are maybe listening, you are reading news of, let's say, news that is around stock market. Maybe that's what you are watching, or you are reading on the internet. You are reading about stock markets in Nigeria, for instance. You just discovered that after that initial news you are reading, every other news that will come under it will be related to stock market. You could now see stock market in the US. You could see stock market in India, stock market in Canada. So there will not be some clustering. That's the word, clusters. They will cluster together. Things that look alike. Pattern will be formed based on the unlabeled data you have fed in to the system. So that is unsupervised learning. Let me ask, I believe these jargons are getting clearer. Let me get a pause first. So just let me know if it's making sense. Let me know.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I need more responses. More responses. It's making sense, right?
Yes.
Okay, good. Now, We have talked about supervised learning, unsupervised learning. Now we go to reinforcement learning. So in reinforcement learning, the algorithms are able to make what we call trial and error experiences. Now let me give you an example. There is this game that was very popular some time ago. Google developed a software that was able to beat the most proficient person in the world. That person is from, I think, South Korea. The man was a very big player of that game. But Google developed this algorithm. And what was discovered was that when they started the game, it was going well with the man. But the algorithm got to a point of perfect learning or perfect trial. So in this reinforcement learning, the main word in reinforcement learning is what they call trial and error. Trial and error. So the algorithm will keep trying and making error. But as it makes the error, it will correct itself and be better. So it got to a point where this algorithm was able to take some steps that were very, very efficient, and it defeated this most proficient player in the world. And Google were very happy at that point in time. So what we are saying in this reinforcement learning is that this algorithm learn through trial and error, but it will get to a particular point when the experience will be so solidified that it could make some intricate decisions, very, very deep decisions that you'll be wondering, how could it make this? So these are the three types of learning. As I said before, look more on them as we progress in our classes. Supervised learning, just know that for now. Unsupervised learning, then reinforcement learning. So we're going to leave that for now. Then we're just going to run through applications of artificial intelligence. I've already talked about this. I've talked about some of them. I've talked about the financial sector. In the banking system today, you don't need to go to the bank to make payment, to make transfer. You could transfer millions and millions without you leaving the comfort of your house. In entertainment industry, I've told you also about the fact that you could watch a movie and before you know it, some other movies would have been recommended for you. Then in the healthcare system, in healthcare today, you go for some tests in the hospital. You just discover that the computer will be able to predict what is wrong, the type of disease, the kind of care. There are some algorithms today. There are some software today that the system will run through your body. It will tell you some history about yourself. It will tell you the best kind of drug you could use without the intervention of any man, of any doctor. That's the deployment of AI in the healthcare advancement. Then in transportation systems, today you could, if you have fleet of cars, if you're into transportation system, you don't need to be monitoring your drivers. Where is my driver? Hope they have not done this. Hope they have not done this. With your mobile phone app, you could have a connection because there is a linkage through the satellite. There is geospatial connections. So with that algorithm on your phone or with the app on your phone that uses the algorithm that have been developed, you could actually monitor your drivers, and you could say, this is where you are, this is where you are. Then also there are some auto clinics today where you take your vehicles to, and when they run through, they'll say they scan it. So when they tell you they are scanning, what they're actually doing is that they are using machine learning or artificial intelligence to discover what is wrong with your phone, with your computer. So based on some learnings of the past, so the computer is able to make prediction that this is what is wrong with your car, this is what is wrong with this, and they will make predictions. They will tell you this sensor is bad, that sensor you need to change it. The reason why you have fuel consumption is because the sensor that is at the injector or the sensor that is at the exhaust, they are not communicating, and the man will just charge you, bill you a lot of money, and you call that man, hey, this man knows his job. He doesn't know his job. It's computer that knows its job. The computer has been trained, and they're just leveraging on the power of artificial intelligence to make some good money. But it's good, by the way. So these are some of the applications of artificial intelligence. Now, we have some ethical considerations in AI. I am sure we're going to do great things with these classes. So that as we develop our algorithms and as we plan to make the world a better place. Now, I said the word. I'm not saying make your state a better place. That's not my vision. I am having a vision of people that are changing the world. So please do not think that we are just here to change our state or to just have a localized knowledge that will only be beneficial to our community. No. There's something I learned. When you get into MIT is a university in the US. It's called the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. From the lectures they are giving to those students, they will be telling them from the start or as they go along how they will create things, how they will build things. That's what they are building to them. They don't see them as people that just come to the university to just learn. They see them as people that are going out there to change the world. So in the practice, in their teaching, they will be telling them when you want to design your own, when they say when you want to design your own, they're not looking at design your own just for the benefit of your family, for the benefit of the world. And that's why you see that many of these great inventors, they are coming out from some of these schools. So the point is that we are learning this thing to affect the world. WORLD. That is our target. But whenever you are designing your algorithms or you are doing some developmental deployment, you need to take note of something called the ethics. That AI could do anything does not mean we can design AI that can kill everybody or that can bomb everyone. Put the ethics into consideration. So we have some privacy concerns. We have some concerns today around the threats of privacy, threats to data, and threat to personal identifiable means of personal identifiable numbers that people use. So because of the power of AI, people having concern. How am I sure my data has secured my the information that, for instance, when you are filling some forms online or you want to register into some app, they will ask you some details, ask your name, your phone number, and the like. So people are beginning to fear that, what are you going to do with this? What are you going to do with this? Hope you are not going to sell this data to the dark web where people can have access to stuff. So there are some concerns around privacy. There are some concerns around some accuracy. Sometimes today, when you use ChatGPT, you will discover that there are some errors that do come along with ChatGPT. It will tell you some things that are not real, some things that are not genuine. So this is what we call bias. It's bias sometimes. So we call it algorithmic bias. That means the algorithms are biased sometimes. They are not that accurate sometimes. So these are some concerns that hope it will not be telling me some enemies are coming from this country to bomb our country, whereas it's wrong, and I'll be fighting wrong war, engaging in wrong battle. So there are some concerns about the algorithm bias. Then another one is the impact on employment. I talked about this before. People are afraid, I will lose my job, but we don't need to be afraid. We also need to get in, flow in, and see what we can do. Now, we don't need to go into this now, but this is part of what we're going to talk about, introduction to neural networks. This is actually one of the areas I'm working in my research, convolutional neural network. So this is, the image you are looking at now is the image of the brain, how the brains are interconnected. And these are used to build applications that are beneficial to humans. Okay, understanding artificial intelligence. So the concept, I talked about this already. I've explained this simulation of human intelligence. That's a natural intelligence. So they just study the brain, how the brain works, and build that architecture into a machine. So artificial intelligence simulates human intelligence. It processes through machines, particularly computer systems. Then you see the second image involves learning and reasoning. So artificial intelligence, I've talked about this one. So it learns. After learning, after reasoning for a while, it could make predictions. Then I talked about the reinforcement learning. I think there's one thing I talk majorly about reinforcement learning. Let me ask, what is the main thing I talked about reinforcement learning? Can someone help me? I talked something particularly about reinforcement learning.
Yes, sir. You said reinforcement learning is a kind of trial and error learning.
Thank you. That's the word, trial and error. So that trial and error, as it makes the error, I also say that it corrects itself. So that's what we call self-correction capability. So there are some mathematical input into the system that as the errors are corrected, it learns from it and quickly adjusts. Unlike humans that will make errors, commit errors many times and still make it and be given an excuse. Computer does not give excuse based on that error correction capability. It looks at it, oh, I've made this error, then you quickly correct it through some other inbuilt power or inbuilt capability. So AI system can adapt and correct themselves based on new information or experiences, mimicking human self-correction. For instance, if the algorithm notices that last year you were in a particular location based on the geospatial information it has about you, the longitude and latitude it has about you. Then once you leave that location, maybe you move to another state, to another country, to another place, it will sense that and things that it has been suggesting to you before might change. So it will be suggesting some other things that are new to you based on the new environment. So based on the new learning it has about you, it begins to give you new information. If you are the type that normally watch a particular movie before, but after a while you discover that these things are not helping my life, let me change, and you now begin to watch some other new movies, it will correct itself. The algorithm will correct itself and be now predicting to you or be inferring to you some other movies that are in line with a new thing, with a new system it has noticed in you. So that capability is very, very powerful, self-correction capability. So enhancing understanding, AI helps us to engage in practical projects. We can build practical projects through some to help us in enhancing our understanding. So we're going to do that in this class when it comes to the time. We're going to build our own project, our own prototype, our own algorithm. We're going to do ours. Then it will also spark creativity in us. And I also want us to go outside of the class. Let's watch videos, tutorials on AI to spark creativity and begin to think of how we could change our world. And one thing about AI again is that AI has real world applications. So it can introduce us to learning, to real world opportunities, and the opportunities are just too broad. There are a lot of opportunities that are out there. I will encourage, as long as I would like to encourage everyone, I would especially like to encourage the female folks to take this opportunity very seriously, because the world of AI today is skewed towards men's folks. So when there are some female folks that come in and show that they really have passion for this, so there are some opportunities that are out there to help to encourage them that are not even open to other male folks. So it's a good thing if the female folks could really take advantage of this. So this was the game I was talking to you about the other time. It was a chess game. So through what Google built, the app was able to, the algorithm was able to beat the most proficient person in the world. I think his name is Seagull or something like that. I've forgotten the name. Okay. So we're ending the class today on this note that learn as much as you can. Then remember, go and empower the world. Go and empower the future. Let's join this revolution and shape a better tomorrow. So this is the introductory part today. Hopefully from now, by God's grace, we will do more as we delve deeper into all these algorithms. But suffice it to stay here for now. Let me get some questions from anyone who has questions before we end it for the day. So do we have anyone with questions?
Sir, can I ask a question? Or is it a request? Something.
Okay.
Yes. Can the slides be dropped on the group?
Okay, I will do that. Definitely. I will do that.
Sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, I was on.
You have a question?
I have a question, sir.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm listening.
What is the meaning of that times and dragons that you said earlier?
Which one? What did you say? Let me hear your question again. So what's the meaning of?
What?
I can't hear you. What is the meaning of? Speak louder.
that the times and jargons that you said earlier?
Okay, what is the meaning? Okay, when you say jargons are words that are used particularly in some field. For instance, in the field of teaching, when you are talking with teachers, one of the terms that is specific to them is what we call curriculum. So curriculum is a jargon or a specific word that are used where people teach. So in the church, one of the jargon in the church is, when you say jargon, it means the word that is particular to that field. So in the church, you will hear words like repentance. You hear the word like Jesus. So these are the words that are being used in the church. They are specific to the church. So when you are in the world of transportation, you will hear about aeroplane, you will hear about airports, you will hear about tarmac, you will hear about pilots. So these are the words that are specific to the world of transportation. So we call them the jargons of transport. So now in the world of data science or artificial intelligence, you hear words like experience, prediction, artificial intelligence, machine learning. You hear something like algorithm. So these are the words that are particular to that field. So that's why we call them jargons. Jargons are words that are particular to a field, that are only for that field. Did you understand what I explained?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Do you have another question? I think Mr. Samuel is trying to say something. Mr. Samuel, are you trying to say something? Okay. So in the absence of no other question, I think it's already 1 hour. We need to bring the class to a close now. If you have any question, we can drop it on the group as we come across them. Let's feel free to drop them in the group. I will attend to them, and I will do justice to them as they come in. So thank you so much. Okay, before I go, let me just ask. I need 2 or 3 people that have not spoken or that have not asked questions to tell me 1 or 2 things we have learned in this class today, just a way of getting the feedback. Can someone tell me what he or she has learned today specifically? I'm listening. Is anyone ready to speak on that? Is there anything you have specifically learned today from the class?
All right. Can anyone hear me, please?
Yes, sir. You can hear you.
All right. Thank you very much, Brother Shay. God bless you. You've done a really great job there. In fact, I was able to specifically, I got to discover how some of this learning were being placed. Of course, I had little insight about artificial intelligence, and I've learned 1 or 2 about it before now. I think that should be while we are still doing undergraduate studies anyways. But then there are some, going into it and how it works. I don't think I really know how it works, if I may say. But then I could, during this class, I think I got to discover the learning process, like where you talked about the unsupervised learning, talking about the reinforcement, and you mentioning the rate at which some of these data sets are being brought together to bring up I don't know, maybe I should use the word stir up machines to respond to instructions. So I think today I think I've gotten that anyway. So I know with time we'll get to understand more about this artificial intelligence. Thank you very much. God bless you for this.
Thank you so much. I'm glad to hear that. Thank you so much. One more person and we'll close for the day. I need a feedback from one more person and we'll close. Just tell us what you have learned specifically today.
Excuse me.
Okay, sir. I can hear you.
This is not a question you asked, but I would like to make a suggestion. I don't know if I can try.
Okay, sir. Okay.
I don't know if this class is recorded. I don't think I'm seeing any.
It's recorded. It's recorded.
Thank you.
Recorded.
All right.
Okay. I still need one person more to speak. Okay. It doesn't matter if you have spoken before. Okay. Someone is speaking. Okay, Tony, you are speaking. Hello, I can hear you.
I'm very, very happy about this class. In fact, formally, I usually think AI is more difficult to learn because I develop more interest in cybersecurity than AI. Unlike now, this afternoon, I begin to have a different orientation. In fact, the class is very, very interesting now. It's self-explanatory. It makes me feel more career in this field, and I'm happy about it. All the terms and jargons I have not been hearing before, I'm able to grab it and understanding more of AI. I look at it in different angles formally, but now I'm very, very happy about it. The class is very interesting. From the introduction to where we are now, I'm very, very happy, and it's very, very self-explanatory. If it's to continue like this. Thank you.
Wow, I'm happy to hear that. Thank you, Mr. Tony. So on that note, we're going to call it a day today. Please, next week is going to be the exact time we started, not on the exact timing today. So it's from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. and we will keep to time. So thank you. God bless us as we go.